any better at all, or is it still horrible? If it is, I'm not sure why. But thanks for telling me, Joe. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. It's because I was using a... I don't know. It just wasn't working. How are you, Joe, anyway? Alright? Trying to sort this out. Don't seem to be working. Oh, good. How are you getting on with your was it what did you just do? Is it naps you just posted? Can't remember now. I don't see half the stuff on the Discord because it's everyone's talking all the time. Oh, is it your Hang on. This is the last time I was on the Discord, about 10 days ago. I think that's War of Independence, can't remember now. Right. Cool. Yeah, that's right, you're right. Well, I'm not really doing much, but I'm making some spares for my ACW regiments. So just doing a couple of spare coloured troops. As I've built my regiments up in 24-man blocks with officers included, but sometimes it's nice to have 24-man block excluding the officer, so I'm just making kind of fill-ins now. As when I play shots practice and stuff, I've been running 24-man units, but then the officers are kind of external to the units. So just kind of having. And then I've been working on some English Civil War, which I'll show in a minute. It's like my drummer I've almost finished. There you go. I haven't really set the camera up that well, to be honest. I probably should have spent a bit more time setting them up. I haven't quite finished this drum yet, but I'm sort of halfway through these musketeers. But yeah, And then I got this got this through the post today. Solo wargaming guide. So I've just started flipping through that, as well as planning my next ACW project. So got a lot on there. A lot of things to get on and do. But every time I pick a regiment or something to do for the American Civil War, I then end up thinking, oh, no, I need to buy another box. I'm trying to do Hood's Texan Brigade for the American Civil War, which there was 4 regiments in there, but a total of 6 that's kind of passed through it. So, like early war, you had 5 regiments in there, or something like that, and then it shifted to 4, where 2 swapped out and 1 came in. So I want to do all 6, if that makes sense. So, fair enough. I keep my American War Independence 24 Center Company for 6 lights and 6 grenadiers. When you mean 6 lights and 6 grenadiers, do you mean 24-man company plus 6 grenadiers plus 6 lights, or are they kind of included? I know some people like to do their regiments with the grenadiers on as like a flank company sort of thing. Unless I'm completely wrong. Right, what have I got? Oh, frame rate drop. We'll see. These are all Union. I'll go through my I'm thinking of doing for my next addition to my American Civil War project, because I've only got 1 regiment left to paint up, and that's the Bucktails, which I think I'm slowly starting to burn myself out. Oh, I kind of made a custom officer as well out of just a standard infantryman. I gave him a sabre and a different hat. So he is marching. I've cut his cartridge box off and stuff. So yeah, that's the one thing. Like if you spend I buy a box 24-man unit with 1 officer, which is fine, but then when you go do games where you want multiple officers, I suddenly have like a shortage of officers. So what I should do. You do a battalion of regular line infantry with their flank companies detached. My regiment's 36 strong, including oh, okay, yeah. Shortage of AWI. Yeah, I mean, I thought about going larger with my regiments, but I guess obviously it's different with American War of Independence, because you do have like such things as flank companies and stuff, which American Civil War I don't think you necessarily have such designations. It's just kind of, well, I guess maybe you do, but normally it's like a blob of troops, so I didn't have to worry about sort of specific uniforms. And I've got 24-man regiments. If I ever want to up the size, I can just add men to the outside. So what's 36, 24? Yeah, so I mean, I could just add another however many. Now, how are you basing yours? Yours are all individually based, aren't they? Or are you doing them in 4-mans? I keep eyeing up potentially going to 3-man, as in 6s. Ah, hi, hairy cabbage. Interesting name. Yeah, I could potentially go into 3x2s bases, which I know a lot of people like basing on. And if I individually base them all, I can buy multi-bases, which are 3x2s. So it's a thought, but it means I'm going to have to then do up a load more bases, which is time. I'll quickly go. I'll show off what. So it's a very rough. So I'm picking up the ACW box set from Perry's. So out of it, I'm hoping to make 5 Confederate regiments. So like I said, there were 6 regiments in the Texas Brigade throughout the year. So throughout the war, sorry. So I can do at least 5. I've just got to try find another regiment's worth of troops, which I might have to buy another box set. The Zouaves out of the big box set, I'm going to make the 9th New York Union Zouave Regiment. So that's kind of all the infantry. I've got the cav. I'm going to make a Confederate cav sort of troop or whatever they call them, but I don't know what I want to do yet because I can't really get hold of flags. I'm been looking into flags. And then also I'm going to buy another Union box set, and I'm going to make a Marine regiment, because the Marines like wore, instead of like the black leather strapping you tend to have more normal infantry, they had the white strapping, and also they had white trousers, which I think just looks really cool. That's kind of why I did one of my Union regiments with red trousers. It's just quite a cool look and historically accurate. So, and then yeah, I'm going to do the 61st Pennsylvania as well, just because it's a regiment. So that's the plans for the big box, and then I'm going to buy a Union box set, and then I might pick up another box set of standard, the Perry's like generic ACW infantry box set, and then I can use that for my Confederate regiment I'm missing, and then possibly I have a spare regiment then which can be for either side. Yeah, the individually based, as I want to do skirmish games with them. However, I want to make 3x2s as it's just easier. Yeah, I mean, if you check out Charlie Foxtrot, he does. Yeah, so that's what I bought off him, loads of 2x2s. And you can get a 3x2. So, which I was thinking of doing, to be honest, because a lot of people do, and like with, admittedly, a lot of games I play at the moment, I'm working on like multiple of 8s, so having 2x2s is easier. But I guess if you play Black Powder a lot, where it's like a block of whatever, then 3x3s might be useful. Also, I'm thinking of using the firepower rules which Perry's released with their big box set, as I think it's a very simple rule set, but I think it's going to be good for like speed games, just trawling through some games really. However, they advise you to kind of have a like 9 wide and 2 ranks deep, so obviously it would be useful being in 3s. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to have 8 across the front and 2 deep. Cool. That's then built up. Also, I kind of scratch built a wagon the other night, so I haven't really got any, and it's like one of those things. I'm trying to do projects, and then you find you spend 30 quid on flags and like bases, which are another 20-30 quid if you buy as much as I normally do. So then to spend like a tenner on just a cart for terrain, it's a bit like I've been looking at some debris of war stuff, and it's really nice, but again, I think it's going to cost me 30 quid for what I want to buy, and it's just like a load of barrels and crates basically, so a bit hesitant to spend that. But yeah. The wagon looks. Oh yeah, cheers. I mean, it was kind of thrown together, sort of. It's out of 2 artillery limbers from the Perry stuff, but I just kind of playing with it really, because I thought it'd be handy to have something like this as an objective or something like that in the games, if it's got to be transporting stuff or going to a warehouse, unloading a load of stuff and getting it off the thing. So somewhere I can get some crew sitting on there and then stack a load of chests in the back or something like that. So yeah, that's the thoughts behind it. we'll I've got a box, some more unbuilt limbers, because these were built limbers which I ended up butchering apart, but I do have some unbuilt limbers tucked away somewhere, so I might get them out and use the wheels and make maybe a bit more of a better job on making the cart. So yeah, but I'll show you kind of what's left on my. This is all I've got left of my ACW stuff. I took a big break from painting, as I don't know if you get it. I don't know how much you're painting, but painting guns like the muskets with the barrels and the straps just slowly kills me. So I haven't really yeah, it's kind of put me off slightly. I ended up spending my money on AWI from Perry's, as I have to buy a case worth of metal infantry cars. Oh, do they do the metals, do they? For the, I haven't really looked at the so one thing I was thinking of doing is picking up a Continental Army Box set, because in the American Civil War, or at least near the start, you had the, I think it was the Morgan Guards, I think it's called, I can't remember now, and they like wore like a ceremonial uniform, and it was based off the American Civil War, War of Independence. So they wore like a continental style uniform, and I thought I would do like a unit of that, Company K of the 5th Virginia for the Confederates, I believe it was. So yeah, I thought it'd be quite cool to do that. So I was thinking of picking up a box set and kind of playing around with it and having yeah, a unit of them. So that's a plan. But the idea is I'm going to get this with birthday money and stuff, which it's my birthday at the end of the month, so I guess I need to see how much I'm getting first, because it's going to cost like £100 for the Perry's ACW stuff I've already got and planned for, plus another £30 on flags, plus a load more bases, as this is the last lot of my bases I've got, apart from these I got 2 spares up here, but that's it really. So yeah, I don't think I've got enough even for one regiment. Oh yeah, I've got one more regiment's worth of bases. So yeah, I'm planning on doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 regiments. I've got 10 more regiments I want to be building up, so yeah. Like I said, I've got these chappies left to do, which are the bucktails. I don't know if you can see, but it kind of like a bucktail on their hat. So I've got these chappies to paint up, which won't take that long to do, to be honest. But again, it's just, I feel like I can trawl through it, and then I hit the point of having to do the guns, and it slows me right down. So, and I kind of got a small itch for the English Civil War. Oh yeah, yeah, I mean the Continental looks quite cool, and what I quite like is how you have different like marching poses. Like I noticed a lot, you can have the infantry marching with their musket in the right hand or the left hand, or slung over their shoulder with them holding the barrel and the butt over their shoulder, sort of thing. So it's like quite yeah, could be quite interesting. And if I'm thinking of doing a militia unit for the American Civil War, where I feel like some of those poses, or at least I could use some of those sprues to add that sort of almost ununiform style poses for the militia, as they're not really going to be a drilled unit. That's my thinking anyway. But yeah, the guards regiment. Yeah, I bought a Perry's. I bought a regiment's worth for my ACW from Perry's. Just some nice metal poses, and yeah, when you can spend like with the ACW stuff, you can spend like 20 quid for 40 models, sort of thing. Roughly, you know, it fluctuates like. Which is like, you think 20 quid and you can just scrape 2 24-man units out of it if you end up going to pick up another command sprue or something on eBay, which I tend to do. But then, yeah, I ended up buying a metal regiment and it was 24 quid, 24 man for like £30. You think it's way over twice the price. They do look really nice though. I'm looking at Redoubt miniatures for some Iron Brigade for the American Civil War, and it's £30 for 24 miniatures. But I can't see anyone else who does those sort of sculpts, because everyone says they do the Iron Brigade, but from what I've looked into with the Iron Brigade, they had more of a ceremonial dress where they would have like white gaiters on and a long frock coat, where a lot of other companies tend to give them the long frock coat and the hardy hat sort of thing, but no one else really seems to have them wearing their white gaiters, which I don't know, I thought that was what they wore, so that's why I'm going to go with Redoubt, just because they seem to have that look, which I like. Because Perry's do some Iron Brigade stuff, but again, they don't have, it's almost like they've only got half the uniform, which might be historically accurate, I don't know, but I like the look of Redoubts. I might actually just carry on trucking on with the Civil War stuff. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen this as my pikemen for the English Civil War. He's all done now. I need to base them. I'm not sure how I'm going to base them yet, so that's something I've got to think about. So I'm going to get these guys finished, and then I've got another sort of regiment's worth back there, which I'm going to... I really want to do them with white coats and stuff, so I need to look at what regiments I can do. I think there's a couple of regiments I can do quite easily with the white coats, so you just remembered the shipping from Perry's. Is it expensive, was it? I tend, all my plastic stuff I buy from my local games store. I can't remember how much I paid postage for the my stuff, but I guess you're Northern Ireland, aren't you? So yeah, you might have to pay a bit more. I'm warming to these First Corps sculpts as well for English Civil War. At first I thought they looked a bit odd, but like some of their American Civil War sculpts look way out, I think. Their heads just seem to, like I've had some First Corps Romans as well, and their heads just look really weird. But also they might just kind of spend more time on certain sculpts rather than others, and that's why you get that. Maybe different quality in sculpts, perhaps. What I'm looking forward to doing this expanding the ACW project is having like some the Texan Brigade, or the Texas Brigade, should I say, with also known as Hood's Brigade. I'm going to try have them a bit more ragtag, if that makes sense. So, like supposedly near the start of the war, when they first marched from Texas, or I guess when Texas, joined in, they they left Texas, and some of them without even guns and stuff like that, or without even shoes and proper uniforms. So I'm hoping to do that with the Union Infantry. So this is the Union Infantry sprue. I don't know if you can see there. That's just a hair, like just some hair you can put on. So I don't know if you know with the Perrys, they come without. I think all their kits like that. They come without hats, so you glue the hats on, so they have a bowl patch. So if you don't want to have a hat on, you can just give them hair. So I've got quite a bit of that there. So I'm thinking I can do quite a few infantry without hats on, or stuff like that. I've seen people sculpt them where they're holding their hat and they don't have the hat on, but they're holding a hat. So that's an idea as well. And also, I thought it would be if I use the American War of Independence box set for the Continental Army, and I use sort of the shoulder, like the different poses for holding the rifle, I could kind of throw that in there as well. So I don't have them all kind of rifle over the gun over the right shoulder. I can kind of have it a bit more mixed, just give a bit more of a rougher look to them. So that's the idea. 108 guardsmen. Okay, let's figure that out. I'm guessing it's 6 guardsmen. 6 guardsmen per pack. £7.50 probably, isn't it? So 108 is 9 packs. £7.50, so 60. Hang on, I can't work this out. £67.50. If so, then yeah, that's a lot. Well, I was looking at. No, who is it? It is Redoubt Miniatures. So yeah, I was going to get £30 worth of infantry, the Union Regiment, and then Army Brigade Regiment, and then I was looking at they've got mounted officers as well, which look really nice, and they're all like personalities. So I thought, okay, I gotta get. So I think I eyed up 6 or so for the Confederates and about the same for the Union, but they're all about £3.50 each. So it soon pushed it up to like 70 quid. I was like, But again, they're all mounted generals, and it's nice to have that. And with my ACW campaign I'm planning on running soon, it's going to be handy having a few personality figures, which I can use, rather than having generic General A appear in every battle. But then it's a bit like with this, the English Civil War stuff I picked up. It was 52 miniatures for 48 quid, which I mean, under a pound a miniature, I think is pretty good. Where's my Civil War? But also you compare it to like plastic box sets, which are 50p a miniature. Still quite a lot. But yeah, I'll talk a bit more about the ACW stuff in a minute, because that's all I want to talk about whilst painting English Civil War. Hopefully Miller's going to pop by and tell me what to do. He says. It's tricky to figure out sort of with uniforms and what colours and what they should be and what. I remember with my American Civil War, when I first started painting it, I didn't really pay much attention to that sort of stuff, and then luckily the majority of the stuff I painted was actually near enough to be sort of historically. I know it doesn't have to be super historically accurate, but it's nice to kind of have it look roughly the same. So the only thing I've sort of done with the Confederates is you would expect the Confederates, like, I think they call them knapsacks, or like the carry bags, you know, where they chuck all their junk in. You'd expect them to be a bit more mix and match, whereas I'd given them all a uniform brown. Whereas you can often see like a white bags or cream bags and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I could have changed up. Also, canteens I've kept quite uniform. They tend to be all of metal, silver kind of metal colour. Whereas they varied a lot from wood to the kind of typical blue canteen from sort of everyone in the era that time had. But I have done, in my latest regiment I painted up, my Tennessee regiment, I have thrown in some blue canteens. And I think I'm going to do that with my Texas ones as well. Maybe just to show that they're a bit more ragtag. That they don't have such a uniform supply of kit. £45 per regiment. I mean, the Perry's metals are really nice. So, I mean, I guess if you're happy to pay that, then it's worth it, isn't it? I personally want to get the most bang for my buck. That's why I kind of prefer plastics. However, if you like the metals, that's why I kind of treated myself to and made a metal regiment from the Perry's metals, because I mean, I think it was, is it Liberator's channel, and he did years ago when he was doing all his, I think it was Liberator's. He showed off the metal sculpts and they just looked amazing, and ever since then I've kind of been like, that's what I want to get at some point, so I'm glad I got them. However, if you just want to churn out regiments, which I'm slowly getting into now, I just want to make as many regiments as I can, the only real option you've got is plastics. Otherwise it's going to get super pricey, and I'm not made of money. Although I'd like to be. Also, I don't know, there's a lot of manufacturers out there with metal sculpts, and I just don't like the look of them. I personally don't like the looks of First Corps infantry set, or infantry they do. I like the look of War Games Foundry. I like the look of theirs. I think they look really nice, but they're like even more expensive than Perry's. I like the look of Perry's stuff. I don't really like the look of who else was I looking at? Saying that, yeah, I've been looking at Redoubt, and I'm a bit on the fence with Redoubt. I like the look of their some of their generals and stuff, but also some of their normal infantry I don't quite like the look of. But then also it's kind of nice having multiple manufacturers in your army as well. I think metals is where I'm going to have to go for more specific units, for like the Highlanders for the American Civil War. I'm pretty sure Redoubt does them. I think Crusader does it, American Civil War as well, which I don't think I was so keen on. Maybe the Perry's plastics are just really good, and or maybe they're just something I'm used to now. I like the scale, I like the look of them. Also, I was really put off metals for quite a while. I kind of thought I don't want metals, don't want them because they chip. I had some metals a while ago when I first started painting, and I guess I didn't prime them properly then, and they were just chipping constantly, and it's just completely put me off. But I'm kind of warming to them now, and I've just got to look after them and varnish them. The only good thing about Perry is that they don't sell regular British infantry in metal, so no temptation there. Yeah. What do the guards wear? They don't wear different headgear, do they? I know the Grenadiers had like poofy hats, didn't they? I show off my... I'm quite proud of this chappie, so he's my English Civil War officer, one of. That's another... Oh yeah, so that's something I was going to say to you. You were saying how you're really low on like American War of Independence officers and stuff. Which I don't know if it's necessarily true for America's War of Independence, but I found with like American Civil War, there's lots of companies that do like 6-man command packs and stuff. So in that way, like I can kind of have all my infantry being plastic Perrys if I want, and then I can just pick up some nice command packs here and there, and that kind of fleshes out my command. So I bought pretty much all the Perry's Confederate command packs they do. I think it's just one I haven't got, which are the command pack, and when they're wearing shirts. All the other ones I've got. And yeah, I haven't done that with the Union yet. I haven't bought any Union command packs, so I can get some of them at some point. And that also kind of gives me flag bearers as well. I tend to run slightly short on that as well. Yeah, I just need a... No good. I don't know what... I have paint pots of paints that are completely dried up. I replace them, but then I don't throw the paint pots out, so I have about 3 Citadel Baneblades browns on my painting table, which... And every time I end up going through them thinking, is that the one I'm using? Or... Bloody annoying. So you can try and... Because I'm like batch painting them in 16. I don't know if you get it, but I've done it a lot with my American Civil War. I'll just come to a point where I'm like, okay, so now I've kind of base layered it, now I'm going to wash it. I get halfway through washing, say, half the miniatures, and then I look and I've missed someone's boot or something like that. And I'm like, how have I... Like with these guys the other day, I'd done all the base layers and I hit with no one wash, like a black wash, and I noticed like 2 of them I hadn't painted their left arms for some reason. I was painting like the jackets and just somehow completely missed that. I just don't know how I did that. The Perrys don't sell Northern Theatre command packs, so I can't really use them, but Old Glory sell Continental High Commands. Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, there's lots of companies that do awesome kind of commands. I don't know much about the American War of Independence, to be honest, so I couldn't really comment too much about it, but I guess so you're saying the Northern Commanders or Northern Theatre is going to be slightly different, is it? I don't know. I never removed paint pots. Yeah, I know, I just got loads. Well, you can kind of see. I got an organiser here, which fits like 60 paints in. He's actually a big hindrance, and basically I'm slowly shifting to Valio now. I just prefer the pots, big range. But with the Citadel, it's kind of what I've known for years, so I'm starting to phase out Citadels now. I'm going to keep some of them, like some painting methods I have maybe, but I'm not that finicky that I have to use that certain paint. If I can get something that's close enough, I'm just going to use that. So yeah, and then also I've got like my paint stand at the back here, which holds a lot more paints for a lot less space. So that's the plan. That is the plan. But yeah, I've just got so much paint everywhere. Right, let's go back to my solo wargaming guide, which is actually really interesting. So I'm going to do an interactive campaign. So picture that. Well, I've put it up on my Instagram and Facebook, and I think I put it on the Discord as well. On one of the Discords, probably the American Civil War one or something. About so my mate, a good friend of mine, is really good at map creator he's got, and he made me sort of a fictional American Civil War map. So I'm going to be running like an interactive American Civil War campaign, hopefully soon. And then this book, hopefully, is going to give me a fair bit of the rules for what I want to do. So I'm hoping to have sort of, obviously, like campaign movement, attrition, weather's going to play a role when it comes to marching armies. But this just opens up, but yeah. But also, because it's a solo wargaming guide, the idea is it helps you turn. Well, it uses, I'll say, has a good thing in here. I've already gone past it. Yeah, so for instance it says it prevents me, the solo gamer, being an all-knowing, all-seeing god. Instead, the forces are controlled on map according to orders and are handicapped by limited intelligence of the commander in the field. In essence, the left hand, for instance, knows exactly what the right hand is doing, but can only effectively act as if it doesn't. So the point that you made in the book is like it's hard for your left hand to do something with your right hand behind the back and not know what's going on because you're the same person. So, but the idea is you know exactly what both sides are doing, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can react. So I was thinking, I haven't looked too much into this book yet, but the plan is, say, if you mobilise an army off and they go do something, they strictly have to stick to that order they've been issued. So they can't halfway up the march go, oh well, I know he's attacking that city we're right next to, so let's go do it. Let's go sort it out. They have to stick to their order, you know. There is some things that can affect that. I think I was reading here quick. I don't know. I might get it completely wrong, but I think if you march through a town, perhaps, or if an enemy marches through a town, it can be sort of reported to your high command, and then they may be issuing to the army that's nearby to go deal with it. But another thing I was thinking about, which I don't know if this book does, again I haven't looked into the book that much, but if an army's off marching, can you send them an order mid-march? And if that be the case, how long is that order going to take to get to them? Does it move twice as fast as the army? So if an army's two weeks march away, can you spend a week of game time, turn time, to get to that army and go, whoa, stop what you're doing, we need to come straight back, and then they can march back. So it's a thought, basically. So yeah, I'm trying to do this campaign. The idea is it's an interactive campaign with my subscribers and followers and stuff. I've set up a Discord ready for it. So the idea is anyone who wants to opt in, they can either join the Discord where they can have all the information there. I'm going to be posting up on my Facebook sort of as well. And the plan is I'll control one side, everyone else kind of has the collective decision making of the other side. So a key thing here is, for instance, if you want to know what you want to do, for instance, if say we're at the start of the game, and what do you want to do? So you first of all, it recommends you kind of pull up 3 plans you want to do. So say we've got an army in a city. What does that army want to do? Plan 1 could be sit tight and wait for someone to attack them. Plan 2 could be take the west road out and march to the next town, which is occupied by the enemy, and try to take it. or the third plan could be march west and support your western army, you know. So you got your 3 orders, and then normally with a solo wargaming guide it recommends you to roll a d6, or effectively a d3, and that gives you your which order you're going to use. However, I'm thinking of having the same order set up, so give you 3 orders, and then have the supporters or subscribers, whoever's involved in the game, they can make that decision. So collectively they're all going to, possibly like a bit like a poll, I guess, put it out there. They can have a chat amongst themselves and go, I think the best decision is we need to attack this northern settlement before, whilst we can, you know. And then if that be the case, then I know what the opposition's going to do, so they can go do it. And then I guess the idea is if there's any battles, I'm going to play them either solo, or if I can by then have some friends over and they can play against me. And then so that it sort of like I make sense of it in my head. I just don't know if I get it out when saying it. But yeah, I've got a plan, and I think it's gonna work. The idea, I've kind of thrown a rough idea in. Every month we aim to complete sort of a campaign turn, whether that be a month in game or maybe more. It all depends how the battles and stuff go, but the idea is at the start of the month I give you decisions. Obviously you can have multiple sets of decisions going on. You might have a Western Theatre army or a couple of armies that need to do stuff. If that be the case, they each have 3 sets of decisions to do. You might have then an Eastern army that needs to figure out what it does. So you can have loads of decisions set out. They're presented at the start of the month. You get a week to decide what you want to do. Again, that's done through kind of polls or whatever on the Discords or the Facebook page. You could just go, okay, I want this army to do this, this, this. So then I spend that end of that week, I spend the weekend or whatever gathering up that information, and then that decides what the armies are going to do. And then that gives me the rest of the month to activate those armies, get them doing stuff, and if there's any battles, I can fight those battles. And then we reset. So the next month, we do it all over again. So that's the plan. And then all just depends how it pans out. So yeah, it's kind of something I'm looking forward to doing, really. I think the big thing is just get people involved, or get enough people involved to make it worth doing. If you only have 2 people playing the opposition, then it's going to be a bit different. But I definitely want to do it. If not, it just turns into a solo campaign that I can run. I don't necessarily need other people's interaction because we can do it solo. It would just be nice to have that sort of interaction. And also, in a way, I'm not necessarily playing against myself. And again, if you give 3 decisions to an army, they're not going to randomly roll a dice and choose a rubbish decision. You might have, like, you guys go, well, no, we've got to keep up this assault. We need to be aggressive. We've been aggressive the last few months. We need to keep it up, you know? So it kind of adds a bit of a personal or human brain to it. So yeah, also another idea as well, that with these 3 decisions, there's nothing stopping people suggesting decisions. So rather than me just every turn go, okay, you're going to do this, this, or this, there's nothing stopping people say, hey, can we have a decision to do this? And then someone else might go, well, I want this army to try do this. So yeah, it's kind of having, I don't know. I'm going to do a video on it, explaining everything when I'm ready to launch it. The plan is I'm going to get all these ACW stuff, build them up as reinforcements for the campaign, and then so with the campaign, the sort of army control level is probably going to be divisional levels. So each sort of army on the map might only have perhaps a few regiments. Again, I need to kind of look into my rule sets. If I'm going to use firepower, I could probably have a few more regiments on the table. If I'm going to use sharps practice, the maximum you're probably going to have is a couple of regiments aside. So that's something I've got to think about, really. But yeah, the idea is maybe you'll have a brigade per side in battle, maybe a couple of brigades per side per battle. So that's the thinking. It's not going to be huge scale. It is going to be, that's another point I haven't actually made. It's going to be in 28mm for battles. So if it was in 6mm, I could have these big battles. But if it's, yeah, I'm planning on doing it in 28mm because that's what I've got all my miniatures in. So it's going to be smaller scale. So the idea is, it is a fictional campaign. However, it's going to be sort of I think a very northeast Virginia location where they've only really designated a small group of troops. So, like I said, maybe a division has been sent up there to control. So the idea is it's like a bit like a valley. So it's going to. I could probably get the picture up, actually. How do I do this? Yeah. So. So if I there we go. Oh, that's not really that useful, is it? So yeah, here's the campaign map, which I've made up. Oh, I haven't made up. A friend's made up. So it is, like I said, it's all fictional, but the idea is this is going to be sort of a valley, if you can see. We've got coastline one side, and then the other side sort of mountains and hills. So yeah, you're going to have this big valley. It's called the Bloody Valley campaign, and the idea is if you can see that it's split sort of in the middle by a northern section and a southern. So they're going to be the two states. You've got the Virginia and Maryland, and yeah, that's the basics of the campaign, or the map of the campaign. And it's going to, yeah. So all these settlements are going to have troops stationed at the start, and then it's how you muster your troops, you muster your armies and stuff. So, yeah, it's the foundations are there. It's just understanding how I'm going to be running the thing. So, also I've got to drum up some hype for it to get people interested, so I actually have people playing it. So, well, if you're interested in doing a campaign, so if you check out the Joy of Wargaming on YouTube, his channel, he's doing a fictional Black Powder era campaign, and he's using this, and this is where I got the idea from, and this is why I bought the book. And he's doing, yeah, a very fictional Black Powder campaign, and he's got these, so he's done the campaign from the ground up. So how you make the map, how you can make battlefields, how the troops deploy on the map at the very start of the game, then how do you muster them into armies, then how do you tell them what to do. So he's basically he's done a tutorial on the book basically, and that's where I've learned everything from. So if you're thinking about doing it, I bought this book for like 12 quid on eBay. Go check out his videos as well, because if you're already thinking, oh, this sounds like a good idea, go check out his videos, because he's going to then definitely convince you to do it. Because what he's done, admittedly he's playing in 2mm. The actual games he's playing in 2mm, like all the battles are in 2mm, so I'm not necessarily interested in that. However, the basics there are really good. And also it shows you kind of what you can do with it. So this campaign I'm doing now, I wanted to keep it sort of small, sort of concentrated, see how we get on. But I mean, if it works and I enjoy it, I'll be doing it and doing another one really. So, but again, it also depends how I'm going to run, how long it's going to take for me to do this campaign. So, I was thinking of having it as a year-long thing. But I mean, if we smash the campaign early, brilliant. So we'll see. But yeah, so the idea is I want to get some troops painted up for reinforcements. I need, yeah, just a mix of both really. I don't really need more Confederates, maybe a couple more regiments of Confederates, but also a side project I really want to do, Texas Brigade. But I do need some Union regiments, because I've only got 6 Union regiments. 2 of them are coloured troops, which I know it's a fictional campaign, but I was thinking of still having that element in it, that it was only sort of later in the war that we saw coloured troops introduced. That's an idea anyway. Whether I stick with it, I might just say sod it and have coloured troops from the start. But also the way we do the armies as well. So I might have Eastern Theatre Army and a Western Theatre Army, where obviously they're not fighting at the same time, so it's not like I need the troops of both armies. If I just have enough troops for my largest army, then, which again, if I'm playing at a certain level, I shouldn't have more than, 5 regiments on the table. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know yet. And if that be the case as well, having multiple different types of regiments just adds flavour, really. I've got a bulk of Virginians, I've got a Tennessee regiment, I'm going to have a load of Texans now. So it just adds a bit more flavour. So, the New Orleans Mixed Race Regiment. Is that a thing? I don't know too much about it. I was looking at, I think it was the Choctaw Indian Brigade, so Native American Brigade. Sounds quite interesting. But then I had no idea how I would go about sculpting that, doing it. But yeah, that's the ideas behind it. So, I think I might do another coloured regiment, like you said, if you make a New Orleans one. But I think I'm gonna make. I think it's potentially going to be the 55th Massachusetts, maybe. That's another one I was thinking about. But again, I don't know. Another thing is making sure I can get flags available as well. So, but yeah. Also, I thought it would be quite cool to maybe make a Confederate black regiment. So historically they weren't really a thing, but I mean in the last couple of months of the war, the Confederacy made black troops, so basically allowed black troops, and it literally and supposedly during the siege of Richmond, you had black troops kind of training in the city. So, yeah, really interesting. So I could get away. I think I could get away with doing Confederate black troops. Maybe. I don't know. Again, they didn't really see service, but they were technically a thing, sort of. And again, if it's a fictional campaign, I don't know. They may have been militia for the Confederates. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really done too much research into it, so I need to look into it a bit more. But yeah, I was going to say there's some cool ideas out there that I could potentially play with. I know I want to do some more Union regiments. However, I'm kind of getting into the point where every Union regiment I'm doing are a special regiment. So I want to just have some kind of bog standard infantry regiments. That's why I think I picked the 61st Pennsylvania, because I think they were just a standard regiment. They didn't have anything fancy with them. They didn't have fancy clothes or anything. As I want to do Marines, which have white trousers and white webbing, so they're different. I want to do the 79th New York, at some point, which are Highlanders. But again, they're going to be all in their kind of Highlander gear of tartan trousers and stuff. And I've forgotten what they call a hat now. A special type of hat. So straight away, that's the different. Also, I've got 2 coloured regiments. I've got. I'm going to have some Zouaves for the Union. I got my bucktails. Again, they're slightly different. They got their bucktails on. And then apart from that, I've got my 83rd and 20th Maine. 83rd Pennsylvania and 20th Maine. So they're kind of normal units, I guess. I just want some more standard infantry rather than special regiments, because I want to do I want to get an Iron Brigade regiment as well. So, but anyway, obviously a lot of stuff I want to do, and I'm hoping so at the moment with the Confederates, I want to do the Texas Brigade, and then I might look at doing Armistead's Brigade, and then I probably done for a while with the Confederates. So, this big box that I'm going to pick up is going to basically do most of the brigades I want. So, yeah, that's it. That's the thinking. That's my thinking behind it. I'll get back on with painting something now. But for now, I need to paint joints and stuff. It's kind of been nice not being so flat out the American Civil War, because it does drain you. And especially if I'm going to be starting up another big project, it's going to really take its toll. But yeah, as for Confederate militia and stuff, I don't know what to do really, because sure, I could have like the Confederate Confederate box set and just try change them up a bit, but I don't know really how to change them up, because I feel like they're going to be poorly equipped in comparison to standard infantry. So if that be the case, would they have all their kind of kit, the standard infantry? Would they have a knapsack, like a carry sack? Would they have a canteen necessarily? Like, they might not even have that. But again, if I pick up the Continental box set, that might kind of give me something to play with just different poses for arms and stuff. So we'll see. We will see. But I guess it's just the bucktails which are next, which could be fun. Should be fun. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking. Oh yeah, so another cool thing, Jay, about this as well, like, you kind of take a look at the start of the campaign. So like I said, you kind of, at the start, your troops are all dotted over the place and they need to mobilise to an army and go do stuff. But you also have kind of reactions of different sides. So to start with, you need to pick a defender and attacker. So in my campaign, I guess you could potentially say the Union are attacking the Confederates. So straight away we know attackers, defenders. And then you can roll a d6, and it basically it kind of tells you when the defender starts to mobilise. So the defender can start to mobilise at the same time as the attacker, or you can go to the extreme of the defender only starts to begin to mobilise 5 days after the actual invasion begins. So at the start, the attacker has to pull all their troops together to make actual fighting forces, which could take, I don't know, potentially a month or 2 months to pull your forces together before they even march out. But you could end up having it where, yeah, the defender doesn't even start to mobilise until they've been invaded, which, yeah, could be big. You got a dash. Okay, that's cool, mate. Thanks for popping by. I hope I've intrigued you with some solo wargaming guide. Go check it out, I guess. Got a lot in here for... Also, this doesn't just cover black powder. Admittedly, the American Civil War on the front, but something I just noticed when I flipped through, you've got airplanes, they've got stuff on paratroopers, landing gliders, so yeah. Minefields. I think they've done... This book is kind of an actual sort of miniature rule system as well for playing games as well as running campaigns and stuff, but I'm only using it for the campaigns. So for playing games, I've got other rule sets on of it. Yeah, good. Worth looking into. Right, we'll get back on the old Civil War. So I've just got to do the white on the collars and the cuffs and the legs and then the gun. So I'm unsure on how to do the gun. I could do it my standard brown, which is Gawthorpe brown, which I think I might. Tried and tested, so I know how it looks. The only slight problem is I decided to do the skin. I painted the skin before everything else. So it's meant they've got to be really careful painting. So beforehand I think I do this skin pretty much last. Especially when you've got like the muskets up against the head or your hand round the musket. Or rifle, whatever. Yeah. It's awkward. I feel slightly better as I was thinking painting these quite a light colour, the muskets, because I've painted the pikes a light colour. But then Miller's sort of reassured me and said, well, yeah, the pikes wouldn't be made of ash, so they would be a light colour, but the muskets would be a different colour, so I don't feel as bad now. At first I thought, oh, I'm just not sure how I want these muskets to look, but giving them a brown. It is the same colour as our leather straps and stuff, which is, yeah, but I don't know, that might not really be an issue. Yeah, that's a problem. I like this colour for the guns, but also I use it for the leather, which I quite like the colour for. Which isn't really an issue, but if you've got, like I said, leather straps on the body and then the rifle, it kind of looks the same. This should be a bit easier to paint as well, rather than the ACW, which had kind of had the barrels, the strapping. Seemed to take forever, but I think that's what I got stuck on last time. I was doing a Union Regiment, and I just had them on the paint table for weeks, just because I was coming up to the painting the muskets, and I just couldn't really bring myself to doing it. Whereas these are just kind of the wood and the metal, so yeah, don't think it's going to be as bad. But yeah, I was saying earlier, I'm thinking of doing a white coat regiment, as I quite like the look of that. I've seen some pictures online of people painting up them, and I think it looks quite sharp. So that's my thoughts. Also, I've done started trying to use blonde hair colouring, or should I say, trying to paint blonde hair. There we go. Makes sense. As I normally, with my ACW, I just kind of bulk painted everyone brunette because it was easy and I knew how it looked, and that's how I did it. I think I tried blonde a while ago and I wasn't happy on the colours. I'll just show you how I've painted one of these chappies blonde, and I think it kind of works. I think I went for, like I say, I'll do a base layer and then I'll wash it, and normally that's how I leave it, as I don't want to spend weeks on a handful of models. Some people do, I do not. There it is. That's another thing of doing this, is spilling. Spilling and accidentally clipping bits. Right, let's show. Oh yeah, so this chap here, I think I've already shown him, but he's got guess you can't really see, can you? He's got blonde hair. I can't really see. It's quite a yellowy blonde, but I think it works well. Some of the other ones I've done have just been quite muddy, and I don't think it works that well. These are looking great. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you. How are you? Okay. I'm just trawling along with some English Civil War. He just missed me rambling about the American Civil War for about an hour. Which might be a good thing. But now I'm just trawling along with some English Civil War. This is the kind of first time I've painted English Civil War, so I was kind of drawn in because I really like the uniforms, which, yeah, sort of drew me into it. And I've had them sat on my desk for a good 3 months now, and they haven't even been primed, so I primed them the other day and I'm painting. The pikes are all done. I'm just doing a load of muskets, 16 of them. And then I have got I need to order the flags for them as well, because I've got sort of flag holders, should I say. I got my flag bearers, but I don't want to glue the flag poles in yet, because I don't know how big the flags I'm going to get are. So I don't want to, if it makes sense, I don't want to kind of glue them in there and find the flags too wide and won't fit. So it's kind of like, how high do I need them? So I'm going to wait to get the flags. For the uniform, yeah, so that was kind of a plan of having, let's get someone with I've kind of got like 3 blues. I don't know if you can see. So I've got like 3 blues going on, which, yeah, I kind of bounce between. And also I've been throwing grey in there as well, so it just kind of breaks that up a bit and a bit less uniform. I don't know if that's such a right thing to do for English Civil War. I assume they wouldn't be super uniform, being the era and stuff, but even still. So yeah, I kind of got like a light grey pale blue. I've got a deep rich blue, and then I've got, I'd say, more of a normal blue. So I can kind of bounce between them. Oh, cheers, thanks. Yeah, I have enjoyed, like I said, I think what's helped on this, I really like the uniforms, so it's kind of fun to paint in that respect. But also there's a lot of head scratching on, because I'm not massively interested in the English Civil War, so I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it, but it's a few times I'm a bit like, okay, I'm not sure how to paint this. I'm not sure what colours I should be doing, so like some of them, they look like they're wearing sort of flak jackets almost. I don't know if you can. I haven't got the camera set at the best, but so he's got his blue jacket, and then he's got like a beigey yellow sort of jacket over the top of that. I don't know what you'd call it, gambeson maybe? I don't know. Which I've seen people online paint, so that's why I've done it. Which I think I should be doing on all of them, but I mean the musketeers don't have them, whereas the armoured pikes do all have them, so, but I don't know. Again, it's kind of the way I paint tends to be a bit more try to get them looking nice and getting them done, so I don't want to spend hours on a handful of miniatures. So as much as I want to do and think looks nice. How are you today anyway? Are you okay? You swell? I'm doing some hobbying whilst my daughter's asleep. And as I haven't done a live stream in what feels like months, I thought I best. I think mid-February was when I last done one. Miller's mentioned it really, he asked about it. And I thought I'll keep him happy, I'll do a live stream and I'll do English Civil War. And he hasn't turned up, so. Shame on him. But no, like, to be honest, when I normally do Saturday. I tried to stream on Saturday afternoons when my daughter's gone to sleep, but like recently I've been either busy around the house or trying to play some tabletop. So do some battle reports or just do some battles in general, and I kind of do them during the day and night times. So okay, well thanks for popping by, appreciate it, and have a good day. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks of painting muskets now. The only good thing is these, I don't know what it is, but with like the Perry's stuff, like these chaps, painting the muskets and then the bayonet, it's just so time consuming. It's just, yeah, it just seems to take forever. That's the only one thing I would say that I dislike is painting the guns. I think it's because all the other stuff I've kind of trimmed it down to quite a, what I think is simple yet effective paint scheme. So I can do the paint scheme in reasonable time and it not drain me. Apart from the guns, I just can't seem to speed it up. I guess I could, well, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do it. Just the fiddly metallics on it. Just seems to take up time. So I do, I'll paint the brown wood, I'll wash the wood, and then I go in with the metallics, paint all the metals, and then I paint the straps white for the rifles or the guns, and then I hit the white and the metals with a known oil, and then I leave it. So I guess it sounds simple, but when you're doing a lot, I could just spend like, if I'm doing I normally paint them in a block of 24. I feel like I can spend a whole night just painting the rifles. But the problem is as well, it's like I'm doing it here. It's like you're right up to it painting. It's just you have to be a bit detailed. Whereas when I'm doing the base, say if I'll base these the jackets. I'll just get a big brush, blue, and then just blob it all over there. Let it dry, and then sort of the same, but maybe a slightly bit neater on the trousers. And it's a bit I can get away with being sort of just slapping the paint on. Whereas when it comes to stuff like this, it's a lot more time consuming. Especially like because I paint the gun last, I need to be careful not to overshoot and hit other bits, which I've done a few times on these guys already. Just it's one of them time consuming things. I wouldn't pay people to paint my miniatures because I buy miniatures to paint myself. However, I would pay someone just to paint those muskets. I'd hand them the finished miniature and go, paint the muskets please. I feel like the time it takes for me to paint all the muskets I could almost finish the rest of the miniature in the same time. But worth chatting to Dom about it from Plastic Crack, or Boots on the Table with Dom, because he's a madman painter who gets through a lot. Be interesting to see his sort of opinion on it. Does he have the same? Because he gets through loads, and he paints in Napoleonic, so it's like it's not far off. They're going to be the same sort of gear as the American Civil War. So it would be interesting to see what he thinks. Does he hate it as well? Does he think, oh, this is nice because I've been painting the whole miniature and now I get to chill out painting guns? I can't imagine that's what he'd say, but he might do. I think what I'll do is try make sure I'm around for the next Plastic Crack podcast cast, and I'll ask him. Also, I have two more building bases for some American Civil War terrain. I'm going to make another little house, and I'm hoping to make a Shiloh-looking church. So that is also on the to-do list. But that's kind of there as a project for when I get fed up of painting American Civil War line infantry. But then that's a pretty tedious project as well, because the way I do the roof tiles, that takes forever. I feel like there's just some parts of a project you just can't escape, and it's painting guns, and doing individual roof tiles just takes a year. Takes a very long time. Don't get me wrong, they look good at the end of it, so it's worth the time, but I think about it now, I'm going to have... Did I just say I'm going to do nine American Civil War regiments? So what's that, like 220 muskets? 220 guns? That's going to be horrible. Maybe that's what I got. I just got to do a live stream when I do them, so I can talk to myself or to people watching. Hey Nick, how are you? I am playing out some English Civil War. Whilst talking about how much I hate painting rifles. I'm quite busy. Yeah, so I'm trawling through. I've got 16 muskets down here, plus my pikes and stuff I did. So I'm doing a regiment of VCW, which I've kind of got a bug to do, so I'm painting it. So the musketeers are almost done. Then I've got to figure out how I'm going to base them, as I don't know yet. And then I've got my last regiment of my American Civil War project that's currently going on. Plus some more little American Civil War troops. These are just kind of some extras I need, so I bought the Sprue online. So yeah, that's going to be the next thing I do, because at the end of the month it's my birthday, and I've project up another load of American Civil War stuff. So the plan is I'm going to have 6 Confederate regiments and 4 Union regiments, plus cavalry, plus some artillery. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm going to look at doing at the end of April, is buying all that and starting it. So it's just going to be potentially soul destroying, but it's something I really want to do. I was saying earlier in the stream, might have missed it, but I'm doing an interactive American Civil War campaign. So yeah, I've got this book here which is going to help me run this campaign. I'll quickly show you the map. So I've already shown this, but this is a map. Can I press this? There we go. So this is a map I had a friend make for me for my American Civil War campaign. It's going to be called the Bloody Valley campaign, and the idea is it's like an interactive campaign. So I'm going to be fighting with one side, and then hopefully all my supporters and subscribers, or anyone who wants to do it, they'll jump in and they're collectively going to control the other side, and that's going to be through campaign movements and decisions, with me fighting the battles either solo battles, or if come mid-May or June, when I can have people over my house, I might try to get some friends over and they can fight against me. So yeah, that's the plan. So this is like the map. So we kind of big road networks, railway. Yeah. So it's going to be Confederates against the Union, with all these settlements being capturable and torturable. So it's this big fictional campaign, so it's doesn't mean anything. That map is completely made up. So yeah, rifles are a pain. Yeah. Well, like I said, I just worked out it's 220 rifles I'm going to be painting soon, which well, it's going to be depressing. I was just saying, I know Dom's a bit of a super painter, and he gets through a lot. So kind of thinking, how does he think about it? I love it. I like the outcome. I just really don't like doing them. I think it's the only reason why I don't like doing them now is because I've painted so many. I mean, I've painted, how many regiments have I done now? 12 or 13, 14 regiments? No, probably. No, yeah, 14. So what's that? 24 man in each. So let's say it's 20, 14, 280 muskets, rifles. Yeah, which takes its toll on a man, I think. And I'm going to have another like 200 to do when I start set up this project. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Just time. And cavalry, I'm going to paint up my first American Civil War cavalry soon as well, which I have no idea how I'm going to do because I don't know what so I've kind of I've got my project of what I'm going to be doing, so I've labelled what regiments I'm going to do and stuff, but I don't know what cavalry regiment to do yet. It's going to be a Confederate one, but I don't know what one. Because also flags, I'm trying to get hold of Confederate flags. Yeah, I want to try and get hold of some Confederate cavalry flags, but I normally use flags of war, but they don't do Confederate cavalry flags. So whether I just give them a state flag or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, this is my almost finished American Civil War drummer. American Civil War? English Civil War, there we go. Been here before. Chatting about American Civil War and I mean English. So I've just got to finish his drum. I got the officer. So these all are blue jackets. And I've got enough for another regiment of English Civil War, which I want them to have white jackets because I like the look of that. So once these guys are done, probably have to do some American Civil War and then shift back to them and do that other regiment. So that's the plan. I'll have to get another command pack though for the flags and officers because I don't have enough. Yeah. And then yeah, some more foundations for some buildings I'm going to be making again soon. So a lot going on. I haven't really been super hobbying because I've been trying to play some games. So I tried to record another battle report the other day and I didn't really like it, so I kind of scrapped it midway through, which took a load of time up. But I just wanted to try to play some games. But like I said, I'm hoping when I get this the battle in the box from Perry's, it comes with its own rule set. Firepower, I think it's called, which supposedly is meant to be quite a simple game, but I think it means you can get through games quite quick as well. It's not overly complicated, so I'm kind of liking. I want to get as many troops on the table, and like I've got black powder as well. I've picked up black powder with the American Civil War supplement, but again, that I don't think I'm going to have a big enough table. I've been looking at like the basic rule. Maybe I probably need to chat to Martin about it because he seems to get on fine with a 6x4. But when I've been looking at black powder, I feel like I need twice as many miniatures and twice the table, which is going to be a long time off. But what an army will I have for the American? Yeah, well, two armies. I got the Union and Confederate, so it's nice expanding both armies. Maybe one day I'll have the largest army in the UK, and I'll be the bloke on the news with his missus in the background, utterly despising him for what he's done. Perhaps. We'll see. But yeah. What paints do you use, Nick? Out of curiosity. I'm slowly trying to shift to Vallejo, sorry, not Vallejo. Vallejo. Sure. As Yeah, I use Citadel, but I'm trying to shift away from him now. Trying to get away from Citadel. Oh. Not sure. I might end the stream here in a minute, as we've almost been going for an hour and 40. And I want to quickly get some lunch before the baby wakes up and then denies me that opportunity. Blue, 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 blue. Let's use it blue. Way too much blue for what I want to do. What? I guess maybe because you do more historical stuff, you probably use army paint or something, I guess, for your paints. I feel like I've had so many Citadel paints now just dry out. Also, maybe it's just me, but I seem to use up Citadel paints a lot more, like a lot quicker than, I don't know, I feel like if they're in a little dropper bottle I can try control how much I actually need rather than just scooping out a load and realising I don't need that much. Valio and Citadel, yeah. I said that's the same as me. I'm trying to phase out Valio and Citadel now. I'm trying to phase out Citadel. Just because, like, storage as well. I don't know if you can see. So I've got, like, a big Citadel storage thing back here. It's got, like, 60 paints in it, which isn't actually that much. Then I've got all my Citadel here, but then I've got these kind of handy things at the back for, like, Valio dropper bottles and stuff. So it just it fits things in a lot smaller space. So I'm thinking, just slowly switch over to Valio. So I'm only sticking with Citadel because it's kind of what I know. But I just want to switch colour. I just need to kind of find out what other colours are. What colours I can kind of use between ranges. Right. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks for watching, Nick. I appreciate it, and thanks for everyone else who watched. Jay for a bit, and Wargames Geek for popping in. Appreciate it. Shame on Millers for not turning up, as it was a English Civil War stream, partly. But hey. So yeah. So thanks for everyone tuning in, and I enjoyed doing the stream. I haven't done one in ages. Like I said, I've been wargaming normally on Saturdays rather than actually streaming. So, but yeah, I'll try to get back to as much as I can. But yeah, I appreciate everyone stopping by and anyone else who's watching this after the stream. So yeah, I appreciate it. But everyone take it steady and have a good weekend, and I'll